Very.
That's true. In other news, uh, so episodes, what is it, 10 through 12 tonight
Mhm.
for Andor? Is it
Yep.
10? I think is it 10 through
10
12?
through 12.
No, it's just one.
Is it
Actually,
or is
It's
it
just
one?
really long.
Okay, okay. Because I was like, because I knew they didn't have that many episodes, but
they were going in threes and twos for the longest time.
yeah. But last week we got it. It got pretty tense.
Oh.
It got pretty hot. It's three straight. They did 12
Mhm.
episodes. Jesus.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we all know how it's going to end. I mean, well, obviously, but it's the journey that's getting there that's been doing it.
Mhm.
Uh, it's gotten tense. Uh, Cassian's girl just literally gave him a Dear John letter. It's like, I can't do this. I ain't strong enough. I know this is your thing, and you
Mhm.
can't do it if I'm as long as I'm here. You're not gonna do it. I gotta go. I can't be here no more. And
Mhm.
I'm like, well, damn, you supposed to be his safe space. This man was ready to sit down and everything. And oh boy told him, he said, you are everywhere I'd always need you to be. He
Mhm.
don't send them to these places. Cassian just happens to, his circumstances just lead him to wherever he need to go to do something. And I would be on high tension alert. Like my anxiety would be at the tip because the close calls this man has come across this
Right.
entire series. Like I can't get one plan to go from A to B at all.
Mhm.
Like I had to steal a experimental TIE fighter. I don't know how to fly the thing. I was I was like, I end up landing on a planet that's fighting between two factions of freedom fighters. I'm just
Mhm.
trying to get somewhere else. They don't know what they doing.
Pretty much.
Mon
It's
Mothma is losing her job. I got to go get her. I got to act like the driver because my guy or Mon fired that driver.
if on the job training was a show.
Boy, is it on
Literally.
the job training.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get this woman out of here. She's part of Rebel Alliance. I shoot her, and don't him. I'm like, man, if you got to think on your feet, here it
Right.
is.
But it is getting to the point to where, like we said, the point to where we all know where it's going. But can we admit that for a show that was kind of written off in its genesis, that now it's becoming one of the more watched Star Wars shows?
Yeah, because it's the
Saying
like
a
I
lot.
said, it's the birth of the rebellion. Like
Yeah.
we never really asked the question. Like Star Wars has been around for what going on 50 years.
Yep.
And so we never really asked the question, how did Leia get the Death Star plans? We don't ask those questions because we're so enthralled with the lightsabers and the fighting and
Mhm.
Vader we're so drawn in with everything else that we really don't think about the underlying thing. How did this stuff happen? How did it get here? Like we we are as adults are realizing just how ruthless they have to be to get stuff done.
Mhm.
Like Saul Guerrero, like we've seen him in Rebels, we've seen him pop up here and it. This is probably the first time he's like, I will shoot you in the face to prove my point.
Right.
Like, can you do the job? Like, so seeing characters that I literally forgot about, like when they're in there turning in their weapons,
Mhm.
and they said, "Who does this weapon belong to?" And dude raises his hand. I'm like, I almost didn't recognize him.
I
I
didn't know
forgot
who
he was.
he was. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Right.
why are we sitting on him for
yeah.
so long? What's
Mhm.
going on?
It
Is he
took
part
it's
of the movie?
yeah, and it took me to realize somebody had. I don't know who put the post up, but he's one of the people that was locked up with Cassian when he was in that prison.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have never
He was
recognized that
the
dude.
asshole. He was
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
asshole saying, "Just die. Yeah, just go ahead and die. It's gonna be
yeah,
your turn. You're not gonna make it out. Just suck it up and keep it pushing." He was the asshole.
yeah.
Mhm.
I would have never, with facial hair and buzz cut, I would have never recognized that dude.
Right.
Never recognized that dude.
Put on some
So
weight too.
yeah, like I'm like Lady Mandalore. I'm like, who's this?
Not those
I'm
muscles.
like, I'm like, I didn't get a name or nothing. So
His
says
name
a
is
lot.
important, okay, but I don't got a name tag. I don't
Yeah.
know who this man is.
It's not until
Sorry, man.
they got to line up the screenshots, and I'm like, oh, I never would have thought about that
Right.
at all, But people wonder like, how does the rebellion start? And it starts in small spurts. Like
Mhm.
the people didn't wake up and decide. Like they had to be convinced that this stuff had to happen. People were moving in places. Bail Organa has been moving behind the shadows
Mhm.
and managing to keep face the entire. He's like, look, if you gotta go, then I gotta stay. He was like, I don't want to, but I still got my family here. I still got stuff to do. I can still move behind the scenes. Mine was just like, if I'm losing my job, like you said, Lady M, I'm losing my job. Everybody going down. I was like, everybody going down.
Everybody gets one.
I was actually in the speech was quite impressive because I was like, oh, you had the right pieces moving at the right time to give that speech. Shut down the feed. Why isn't the feed shutting down? Stuff happened. Stuff had to happen a certain way, and I'm glad it did. And it was happy accidents. Just about everything they had was a happy accident.
Yep.
I don't know about that. I think the people that fixed the lock were in on it.
You think I glazed a little bit of that.
It felt like they were telling the truth, but they were in on it. I very much do feel like that door was broken all this time, but I do believe they chose today to fix it specifically.
Yeah, we'll fix it today. We'll put the new code in today.
I need the security key. Where is that? Upstairs, where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You better jump, sprint.
Get on up there. Get on up there.
He had to snatch everything out. It was like, oh, it's too late now. Truth been told. It's out. The secret is out. Like, but I think that was. I don't want to say that was the first domino to fall to get things moving, but that's what definitely escalated a lot of stuff. Spartan, what you think?
I'm sorry. Shoyo is.
You okay?
Go ahead, Shoyo.
Well,
go ahead.
And nothing to say.
Oh, you said plenty.
She's talking to Mayhem, who's at Disney World, about turkey ladies.
No, that's not what she said.
What about the turkey?
You gonna pay for me?
100%. I know they got meat in
Read
Andor.
the chat if you want
I
to.
would
We'll be
pay
off
for
topic
turkey
another-
legs in Andor too. I want the supreme slice slab of meat. Okay, so it don't matter.
Her just powering through the whole situation, like she knows she ain't said what she said the way she said it. So you lean back in that seat. You was there too. You were mine. You could have deleted that whole.
I was
thing.
trying to tell you to not pay attention to it so we don't go on this tangent right here, but no.
It's all the better for it, Safari. Don't delete it.
Oh my God! It makes for good comedy or whatever. That's what people expect.
It makes something. That's for sure.
The tags alone from this.
Now
I'm hungry. Great.
I'm sorry, Chris. What was the question again?
So I'll say, what was you thinking about? Like these not the last three that they're showing tonight, but what was it 8, 9, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
Slow burn, except until 9. 9 is when it picked up. So 7 and 8, it was all right for how they were building it up. It just went to, for me, I'm like, okay, I don't mind a slow burn, but slow burn is not supposed to be 3/4 of your entire episode. It's either going to be an event and you move on, flash back to that event, then escalate it up. 7 and 8 was slow burns. That's why I'm like, you didn't have to show us getting everybody involved. We knew what you were going to do from 7. But somebody must have heard me at 9 because 9 was like, okay, 4th gear. And
9 is, like I said, 9 is the intense episode because I'm just like, are y'all gonna make it out of here? Like, I mean, I know that Cassian and Mon are making it out of here. We see them later in films. We see them later on. We know it was just what happens for you to get to that point.
But the way they set the entire situation is you didn't see any previous photography.
Like
You
Frank,
ain't
like
say mine,
fantastic,
dog.
like Fantastic Frankie.
Yeah.
She's in for a ride.
Like if you didn't see photography beforehand, you would have thought that old boy Saul would not made it out.
Yeah.
You thought it really. I go lie. I thought it would be his end. Like, are they really gonna pull that trigger?
Nah, he dies in
I mean, he dies in Rogue One.
In Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah. But the way
But I mean, look at like even like I said, even back from Rebels and everything, even from there, like he's popping up. He's not like a mainstay character, but he pops up, and he's like, even then, like, oh, I'm moving behind. I'm putting pieces in place on purpose. He was like,
but the way he be moving though, sometimes like, man, you a little too trusted in folks, sir. Not everybody is your friend. Just some questionable choices were made. That's all I'm saying.
The robot at the end of this is the same one we have in the movie, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That battle with the Gormans, that was wild. Mon was right to call them out. But that battle with I'm like, these are unarmed people that's peppered with several rebel spies.
Right.
Like they're just a few rebel spies, and they're picking them off. I'm like, this is the only time stormtroopers are decent shots, because generally they don't hit their mark.
Like 1 for 7.
Like,
that's how I play the episode.
The only reason why they hit their mark, there's the target is wider. There's more people in front of them. They normally don't hit their mark. So, but I think a lot more of them actually got taken out. It looked like, at least the ones that was on the stairs. That was like pushing the line. A lot more of them were like, some well placed grenades took them out, is what happened. But I don't know, Lady M. Yeah, what you think?
I thought it was really good. It brought me back to my excitement for Star Wars. Like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Ooh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? I appreciated the sirens in the background giving this dramatic effect to everything.
Every time.
I think that I not gonna lie, kind of cried with Andor and his wife / girlfriend kind of dipping on him. Like, I get it. Like, I want you to be great, and if I'm here, you can't be great. So I'm gonna just meet you on the other side of all this shit. If you still gonna be here, we'll both be here, and we'll be here together. Like, I get that.
I hate to see what her story is now, knowing what we know.
Yeah,
knowing what we know.
I don't think old girl makes it out.
Yeah, because we got the 3 of the night, so there's no telling.
He was already on, like,
very thin ice. Like, like the thin ice that she's on is the thin ice that Cassian is on every day, and can somehow.
Is she just randomly going out here and murking motherfucker? Like, oh, green means go, bet go. I'm a do it for the culture.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Like, you got it in you, but you're missing something. You know, it was like you're missing a little bit of something.
Them whale sounds, whatever the fuck they was, they fucked her up real good.
Yeah. That torture she was doing. What was it? Like not last week, the week before, when she was down there and that torture she was dealing with. Oh, she snapped.
Yeah.
Like that was fight or flight right there. That was fight or flight. She was like, "Oh, I don't even care if they hear me. I'm trauma. That is PTSD."
Holy.
You know, like they didn't even care. They was like, "Who's shooting?" They was like, "By the time y'all get there, he dead anyway." I was like, so
no point.
Yeah. So the show, high tension is probably is the word. High tension. I'm with it. I wonder if it makes me think about the Acolyte, and I said, this is what you were missing. You were missing that extreme. Like you were giving us
It was
slow build up and then high tension, but then you drop it back down. It was like, no, you're supposed to keep that pumping. That it ain't supposed to be like build up, high tension, drop it, build up. It was like, yo, you got a high tension and then give us. You got to take that in steps. You can't just drop that
they
because
should
it had purpose.
They should have figured out a way to put that secret character,
Yeah,
like maybe two, like sneak them in like 2 episodes before they ended it,
yeah.
and then
And I
build up
think
from there.
that, and that's like even with the Jedis that were involved. Honestly, I feel like we were robbed.
Yeah, for real.
Outside of Daphne King's character, we were robbed.
Very much so.
I feel like we
And
threw
also
her,
we
Jordan.
could've
Yeah, we threw Jordan and Jackie away way too fast, right when they were starting to get busy.
Like, yeah, Daphne King's character. What was her name? Jordy or
Yeah.
Jackie.
Jordan, Jackie. Those are the two like we were looking forward to fighting the entire show, and they didn't make it out the first fight.
Yeah, like Jack. But when she was up there, she was just a Padawan and train. Like, and she was handling business. You know, I'm like, oh, she's good. She's good. Damn.
Like, whenever they got to pull out the dagger blade or the secret pistol, they're cheating. Like,
yeah. And I think that's what that show was missing in the act, like, because it's overall it's not a bad show. It's just it suffered from bad pacing.
Yep,
that's what it was. It was bad pace. Like, I'm like, you had the components there, you just didn't deliver. Like,
shows do be suffering from that.
Yeah, they do. So it's like, I don't know if there's like campaigns talking about like bring it back. I'm like, yeah, bring it back, give it another shot, do something different. Like, continue on, give it the same amount of episodes, because it was 8 episodes. Give it the same amount of episodes, but build it up to that.
Yeah,
because
they need more than 8 episodes.
I was say, I thought it was 6.
Was it 6?
I thought it was 6.
Wow.
Either way, it was too short for what they were trying to build up to. Because in order for it felt like they were writing as if they knew they weren't going to get picked up.
They were.
That's fair.
Usually that's when you go all out with it and you start pushing the boundaries. Once you find out you're not getting renewed, or when you find out they're putting you on the network no one watches, you start getting like, usually that's when you up the violence and the graphic stuff. But they kept we called the pacing by the 3rd episode. It's action backstory, and it was once you episode 5 on the planet when everybody was going at it, we didn't want to slow down after that, and then we just went back to the past.
You gave us what, 3 reveals?
Yeah.
That paid off to nothing. Like, so now you're like, what do you fix that? Like, do you somehow in another show or series or even movie that do you somehow fix those reveals? Not retcon them, but just kind of fix them.
I think you could have a show that does a episode or does some kind of nod to it that explains what happened after everything. Like, Plagueis came through and did something, or these two twins clashed for decades, and either read a flashback episode of telling their story from someone else's perspective, something.
Yeah, definitely more Plagueis. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like we were right there. Like the one of the few stories that we've actually been curious about that not everybody can read about. You know,
right?
There was an opportunity, and I feel like like everybody else here, I feel like that was the pacing that they just kind of dropped it. They was like, oh, we're gonna give you these 6 episodes and see how it does. 6 is not really a lot to do anything. Like, you have to hit the ground. You have to hit the ground running and stay there.
You gotta do flawless, basically.
Like, if you're going to do a fast pace of a story, it has to remain the same speed at which you started. Otherwise, people are gonna be wondering. You really lose people. That's what happened with Lost and Heroes and all these other shows. You cannot start fast paced and then eventually decide you want to grind the brakes. Your story falters.
Lost was such a disappointment.
Lost has made you mad.
They also came out in a time where I feel like it was still okay, even if it did fall off, because I remember Lost. Like it still came out at a time where it was just like we gonna run these seasons regardless. Versus Die, I think is definitely like you're getting limited episodes and you might not get a renewal for your second season. Versus Lost had a lot of content.
Yeah, that was Lost was one of those shows that it was still on the I guess the old formula of television shows where you got like 24 to 26 episodes per season. So you had a chance to break in between and then come back and then your Christmas break. So you had something going for at least a couple months. And then to now where like you're looking at a lot of shows that's on streaming and you're getting 6 to 10 if you're lucky, you know, and that's considered a season.
This is British this is European formatting. This is BBC One.
Yeah, but see, they did it better. Even with Doctor Who, they did it better.
Decades to do it the right goddamn way. You tell a story, the end.
Yeah.
American consumption is not built for that. We want it. Yeah. We want more. We want more. We want more. Do more instead of
like you watch any of Doctor Who episodes outside of what's currently running on Disney Plus, you were getting like hour and a half. You know that, and you would get like 6 episodes that's like that, and like everything, boom, that's your season. But you're getting more story being told. You're right, and like here in the States. But we'll give them 45 minutes. No,
I was about to say, but Doctor Who is also very standalone too. Instead of just interwoven.
You getting 10 episodes of this one particular show. The end.
Yeah, and everything else is in the balance.
Yeah.
If you get a second season, you get one. If you don't, you don't. You'll find out soon or whatever.
I mean, look, or at least in the case of Doctor Who, you getting that season, you won't see us again until Christmas. And that's the special. You know, you get that one episode. Then after that, you ain't seeing us again till probably the next summer. You know, it all depends on scheduling. Like,
and then you got shows, and then you got shows. You get shows that are automatically renewed. Like take Fallout. Fallout had 1 season, and in the middle of that season, we knew season 2 was guaranteed. Season 2 hasn't even came out yet, and they've already greenlighted for season 3.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think it was just that good.
Yeah.
But that's the point I'm getting at. That's more of a commentary to your show's writing. Like if your show's writing is so good and confident that they have turned around and said, we're going to greenlight the next season for you, that's saying a lot. Because it could be the same thing about The Boys. The Boys got 5 seasons. They're getting their final season, but they can probably go another season. And various other shows. I'm just pointing out the fact that when you're writing and your product is that good, they'll automatically greenlit you for the next one versus ones that are just, on the iffy sides.
Yeah.
They also, well, I guess that would fall in kind of this. Does Andor have like source material, or is this a completely new story?
It's new.
Yeah.
So I guess that, I mean, it's like
it's not the Rogue One movie, and it's basically just do what you want to make everything equal that same endpoint
to come together.
Yeah. You just
Fallout has source material.
Like, why do
you basically got a big ass sandbox to work into? As long as you stay within the 2 events, that's big. That's pretty much what Andor is. As long as you stay between the events of Rogue One and the beginning, you pretty much got open range to do whatever you want.
Yeah, and to make it fit and make sense, like how did it get here? Like,
right.
And that's what's making it work. Bama made a greater point. He said Lost was a lot of setup, but the payoff wouldn't work. It's right. I think those writers wrote themselves in a situation they couldn't get out of.
And then they went on strike, and then they went on.
Abrams.
Yeah.
Hi. You did it twice.
Yeah.
You did it twice.
And then they had to go.
Abrams and Lindelof. Yeah, Abrams and Lindelof, and it was like, you gave us a lot of exposure on something that created a lot of questions, and then you turned around, you answered some of those questions, and then turn around and created more questions that never got answered, and put in exposition that didn't make sense.
And then you turn around and did the same thing to Heroes.
And Lost.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking about the last 3 episodes, or were you
No.
talking about those other 2 shows?
Jesus,
Yes.
I walked away
Alright.
from Lost hot.
A lot
Hot.
of people did.
I sat there and I'm like, I recorded this.
Not at the
Every-
DVR.
Yeah, because I worked second shift at the time, so I'm like, I recorded this, and this still don't make no sense.
That was the one time all TiVo services took a hit.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I'm like, by the end, I was like, the dog too. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like,
Damn.
Alt's the only one that walked out.
Mm.
No, so well, we are wrapping it up. One more episode, people. One more episode.